we have a head of sales excellence from GSK, Dr. Pankaj. His journey is really breathtaking. How L&D is playing a role in adoption of this technology on the ground?
So it's a massive role we are playing also, and we have been playing since long. And I can tell you with my own experience.
Okay. And you are responsible for training all these people, 2,500 people,
Yes,
around the year.
me and my team.
So can we say that your role is more focused on getting the right output from the sales?
Even with HR also, the output is always expected.
That experience part of
Yes, I think it works very well. You know, business ये भी मानता कि Pankaj, I have given you everything what you wanted to know. You tell me what else you can do from your side.
I'm sure this is a real life story, so this always inspires. At least this has inspired me. I absolutely agree to some way. I agree with it. Hello everyone, welcome to Pharma Now. On today's episode, we have a head of sales excellence from GSK, Dr. Pankaj. His journey is really breathtaking. So I think if I talk about just awards and achievements, I think he has been nominated for 25 most influential trainings and development professionals, then 25 most talented global training and development leaders, 30 best training and development professionals in India. I think so many accolades. Thank you, Paul. So, Dr. Pankaj, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And thanks a lot for sharing your time. I know you always keep running here and there and it's a busy schedule. So, thanks for taking out the time and sharing your insights with us. So, Pankaj, I think I really wanted to go through your complete journey of till to the point where you are right now heading the sales excellence like L&D program. But before that, I really wanted to understand what this commercial L&D means and what are the main roles, what are the KRAs, how it works.
See, I mentioned to you about commercial L&D just to make the life simple, because people will only say L&D, but here in my role, I am a part of a learning and development.
Okay.
But my focus is more on those skills areas, those functional skills which will lead to commercial outcomes. I give a classical example like selling skills,
Okay.
like key account management, like negotiation skills. Now, this is something which are more tangible, right? There will be some behavioral element also in that. But having said that, this can lead to a commercial outcome. Hence, we call it commercial L&D. Business planning for that matter, data analytics. There are areas where which me and my training team, or I would say L&D team, train people also accordingly. And they are very distinct to what HR L&D does. They do a phenomenal job as well in terms of building the talent pipeline, succession planning, a lot of cultures, a cultural show they do to make sure that every employee is a part of the cultural pillar. But in our role, we also complement HR effort and vice versa. But our focus is more distinct on the functional capabilities. That's the way I would like to differentiate it.
So can we say that your role is more focused on getting the right output from the sales?
Even with HR also, the output is always expected. ऐसा भी नहीं है कि we are the only one, but yes, I think the expectation and the direct correlation is more with us when it comes to commercial outcomes. There we are. HR, they also have their own outputs. For example, for them, employee engagement survey is a big output.
Yeah.
Attrition is a big output.
Yeah,
right? Attention is a big output from that. So that way, I think both the function has got an equal role to perform. I wouldn't say one is over the above. That's not the point here. But both are complementary to each other.
Certainly.
And at the end of the day, our customer base is same.
Yeah.
My field force.
Yeah. So what is the size of field force GSK has?
Well, even though I just got a review disclaimer also here in this interview, what we are sharing, what we are asking, these are my personal views.
Yeah, certainly.
And it doesn't represent my current and my previous organizations also. But yes, you are mentioning about GSK, you are talking about my designation. It is purely for the identification purpose.
Yes, certainly.
So what I'm sharing with you is something which is very much available in the official domain. So yes, GSK field force is approximately 2,500.
Oh, it's a very big force. And it is across the globe?
No, we're talking only India operation.
Okay. And you are responsible for training all these people, 2,500 people
Yes,
around the year.
me and my team.
Okay. When you plan L&D strategy for training sales force, what are your key parameters or key priorities? How you plan strategies?
Uh, See, frankly speaking, I think we have moved away. I mean, I can see it 15 years, 20 years down the line, before that as well. We moved away from the interventions now. The focus is more on not to conduct a training program, but to build a training strategy, which should be a little long term in nature and it should be well sustained as well. That's the motto. I'm sure all of my L&D colleagues over there, also across the room, they can say the same. How do we do that? Obviously, the alignment with business is very important. If I'm sitting on the planning table where all the decision has been taken care of, or where we're building a common organizational strategy, then for me it's very easy to align my training strategy with the organizational strategy. So that's the one way I'll take the input from the business. What is working well, what is not working well, what are the pain points they have, what are the opportunities do they see in the future also. So a lot of good input which we get from the business. I mean, imagine in today's world, I can't imagine running a training program or training strategy without consulting with my businesses. It is must. So that's the first part. Part two is hardcore data points, which are available with the HR domain, with our own KPIs, parameters, what has worked, what has not worked. We go to minute details also to figure it out. Okay, within the selling process, which one step my team is doing exceptionally well, and which are the areas where we need to further strengthen on. Among the entire basket of product, if I happen to see the product knowledge test scores of everything, I will come to know which are the brands they're very comfortable with and which are the brands they're not very comfortable with. So I'll invest my time, energy, building on more intervention to support those brands as well. So there's some of the ideas which I thought I'd share with you, but that also leads to a point that how do we build the training strategy well in advance. And in today's dynamic world, I think the visibility of training strategy has to be there for minimum 1 year to 3 years.
Okay.
Easily. Even though there was a time people used to build 5-year, 10-year goal, but not anymore. Take a classical example, which many of the company, they don't do, no offense, but some companies, they do it very well, that the life is changing. Post COVID to और भी change हो गया सब कुछ. The competency set have changed. The expectation have changed. So I think I always encourage people to revisit the competency framework at least once in 3 years. What has worked in 2021 may not work in 2024 or 2025. तो
Very true.
थोड़ा सा आपको नच देना पड़ता है अपने आप को भी. But it's a difficult task. It's not an easy deal because you're comfortable with the one competency framework. You're doing it well. People have understood. फिर change क्यों करें? But if you don't change it, then you are left behind as well.
True that.
You may not change the entire competency framework also, but there are few skills, the few behavior you would like to add there. You must revisit it. That's a point number one. Point number two, my favorite topic, the job description. The job description, when you pick up from any organization, they're very old job descriptions, which are written way back in 2010, 2011. It has not changed. And there are certain positions you don't get a job description at all, and there are very key positions. So building a job description also is equally important. And when you build a job description, you build a job description by doing a job analysis, which means taking the input from the stakeholders, what you expect from this position to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you build the role and responsibilities. What competency sets you required to get this job done.
Right.
So we do that. Now, sorry, I'm going back to my earlier role of HR L&D, but it is also equally important with the commercial L&D as well. Right? You must revisit the competency framework. You must revisit the job description and build your strategy around that. So I give you 3 data points. One is business and their input. B, the other KPI data which are available in the market. And third is very basic but very yet important is revisiting competency framework and job description. That's the way I would like to sum it up.
Wonderful. So, one of the key challenge when I was also field force, like initial days of mine, was gap between what L&D strategies are and what our practical problems on the ground are. So there is, we only found that okay, there is a gap, and this is a typical buzz everywhere. So on social media, people are talking about okay, I am attending a training, but it has nothing to do with what I am facing as a practical problem on ground.
Yeah.
How to tackle this kind of challenges? How you are doing it?
I think I probably have answered it to an extent in my earlier question also. If you're aligned your training strategy with the business, आपका आधा काम तो वहीं पे हो गया. 50% of problems have been taken care of because I'm trying to address their pain point.
But what is the mechanism to identify those pain points?
Fantastic. A, you have a conversation with them, which you call one-on-one conversation.
Okay.
B, you do surveys across the employees, which are very quantifiable in number because not every employee you would like to have one-on-one conversation possible will here.
Of course. So you do 1,500. Sorry, you will get 3 years time.
No, itna patience bhi nahi hai, na inclination hai. And you do some focus group discussion with the key stakeholders as well, where in a group people do talk, they add, they contribute. So you see a trend. Very clear you see a trend with a 4 different data point. A, what the senior leader is saying. B, what the focus group discussion is conveying to me. And C, the quantification of survey which you get it done from the core frontline employees. And on the top of it, you also add your own judgment, your own experience also, which is also, I would say 15-20% is valuable. There are many things as a L&D person you can anticipate. You should anticipate, which customer may not say. But I should have that visibility or anticipation कि ये 6 महीने में required होगा. So if I add that flavor, if I marinate the entire
That experience part of
experience, I think it works very well. You know, business ये भी मानता कि Pankaj, I have given you everything what you wanted to know. You tell me what else you can do from your side. So that's also a hidden expectation.
certainly.
So you have to build that as well. So blend of
Non-tangible.
non-tangible. So I hope that answers to your question.
Yeah, certainly. So, extending this question, like you were talking about the job descriptions, you were talking about the modifying the job descriptions. Yeah. Nowadays, it's a digital world. We are expecting our sales force to get equipped with the digital tools. A lot of tech strategies are coming in from the top. We are implementing CRMs. We are implementing many other productivity management tools or measurement tools. How L&D is playing role in adoption of this technology on the ground?
Well, I think
Is it playing any role or how it is?
it's a massive role we are playing also, and we have been playing since long. It's not that we've got Jagruk now. And I can tell you with my own experience, I got the first exposure to LMS way back in 2007. 2007.
A very nascent stage of software.
And yes, maybe I was blessed to work with those organizations who had a vision to invest more in people development or using a technology. So I got very early exposure, right? So people get accused of pharmaceutical industry or laggard industry, they don't follow technology. But I can tell you L&D space, talk to anybody, the LMS came into our industry in those era only, right? And then sales enablement tools also came to pharmaceutical, and then looking at us, then the banking industry and the insurance companies, they copied us. I mean, if I have to use the word. So I'll probably say with a lot of pride and proud that in many way, pharma L&D have been a forefront on the digital front. And I don't know why we get accused wrongly. Okay, we had a very traditional model of selling. I don't dispute that. Mine is a very regulated industry. I cannot promote product just for the heck of it. It has to be well approved by the government body, and it has to be not at all an off-label indication. I'll have to sell the science, and who I'm selling it to, a doctor who will only prescribe. I'm not selling datun, I'm not selling a toothpaste where I have to be more creative. Mine is a completely regulated. But within L&D space, I guess we have been reasonably okay. I would not say that we are way ahead of the curve, but we are definitely on the curve. I can tell you from the beginning itself. And today, if you talk to the, no offense if I have to use the word called vendors or the partners, if the right word is that, they have been more associated with us. And they take our use cases to sell their products to the other industry. So it tells you something. It tells us that yes, pharmaceutical industry mein the core training it has been a very essential. And many of time in heydays when I was reasonably, I would say, growing up in my professional career, I used to get all job offers from the other industry. Not because they used to like me, but the point was you worked in a pharmaceutical, no? Very intense training, very regular training. We want you to have it here. And I remember 2003 when there was a boom happen from the insurance segment. You know, those 2003 time? Boy, me and my colleagues, we used to get almost every second, third week an offer from the insurance companies. And it's not because of me as a person, but it was natural because they said, no, we want to target only pharmaceutical industry. They were very clear. And I remember many of my colleagues shifted. Well, that's a different story. After 5 years, they came back because that boom got bust very soon as well. But all I'm trying to say, the training in pharma in those era and this era, it has been a good benchmark for the other industry to follow. So that's the way I would like to say with a lot of pride.
Interesting, very interesting. I also have one more. I'm just take another few minutes. I have also one more doubt. Please, in terms of L&D, like few years back, like maybe let's talk about couple of decades back, whenever MR goes to the doctor, MR's role was very important in terms of spreading the knowledge, because doctor was always waiting for MR to see that okay, the new what new he is bringing in, the new methodologies of the and everything. So doctors were always get enlightened at knowledge from the MR. Now coin has flipped. Now the doctors are very much aware through the digital media ki what all things are happening, what all knowledge is available, everything on the websites, on the digital media. So when now MR is going, the challenges in front of the MR are much higher. So how L&D is helping MRs to get more equipped with such kind of scenarios?
देखिए, good old days, we used to have a very typical classical selling model. I don't disagree with what you said. There's the elephant in the room which we normally try to address. But thankfully, L&D also have moved on with the multiple models of selling. So for example, those we never used to talk about elevator pitches. Called today to talk about it.
Yeah, because today doctor, I heard few doctors give such kind of time ki they climb up the elevator, they go to the top and they literally ask to give the pitch for that much time only.
So we call it fondly called the corridor call.
Yeah.
Go to hospital.
Corridor
Call it a parking calls also. Car parking pe chalte we used to sell and we do. So they need to be trained on that as well. But having said that, I agree and disagree with your first statement कि अब तो डॉक्टर को सब पता है because of digital access to all those things. But unfortunately, today doctor does not have a time to go through. That's also the reality that the disease burden, the patient burden is so much in India.
Agreed.
A super specialist cannot see more than 25-30 patients a day. वो भी on a higher side, I'm saying. It could be 10 only. But the load the person have is enormous.
Yeah, I agree.
On the top of it, you expect him to go through all the knowledge base. Well, he or she tries to do that, but they rely on us and our people also. But they pick up only those people who have the understanding of science. If I don't have a good science knowledge, you will never appreciate me as a doctor or as a colleague. यार पंकज जो time waste कर रहा है. But if I have a deep knowledge and if I have got an understanding of disease, then hopefully I can address some of your pain points also being a clinician. And doctor do appreciate that. अब ये बहुत कम लोग निकलते हैं ऐसे, but there is a need.
There is.
So if you have a good solid knowledge base and good selling skills also, you can become a very good unconditional partner to the doctor.
That is very important.
And by the way, आज भी होता है. As a doctor, I may ignore 100 reps. कि नहीं अभी नहीं मिलना, but 2-3 people I'll say यार आप आ जाओ.
Yes.
Why? Purely because the gentleman appreciate कि this person has come to meet me and he's going to add value to it.
Yes. The adding value is very
important. So मैं today also when I talk to my colleagues and my sales force also or earlier, I still feel that and I still tell them also the scope for selling science will never go away.
I agree.
Never go away. अब वो मीडिया कोई भी हो, I don't care. But the person behind the brand is always valuable, even till today. और ऐसा भी नहीं कि डॉक्टर जो है आज के दिन पढ़ता नहीं है. That's not the message I'm trying to. But he, gentleman, core fellow, doesn't have a time to go through everything. So he rely on us.
Exactly. I agree.
By attending my CMEs, by attending my calls, by getting the brochure from the organizations, they upgrade.
True that.
True that. That won't change. It will become even more complex.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, doctor, I think we talk a lot about science. Let me ask a bit question like how your day looks like as a head of sales excellence and commercial and
How do I?
how your day looks like.
My day looks like? By first of all, at this age of my career, I'm very health conscious. Okay, I mean, this is I'm saying to everybody. I get up in the morning at 5:30. I go for a walk, and that too for 90 minutes walk every day, no matter what.
10,000.
Yeah. Easily.
90 minutes.
So no, I cover 9 kilometers, which consume around 12,000 steps.
Yeah, 11.
Right.
Yeah.
And my goal is not to the steps. My goal is to burn calories. So 1,000 calories is my goal. And as of now, I have burned 973. You can see that. So by the time I reach home, I will complete 1,000. So mera goal ho gaya. So that's the first part. So that's my first, pranayam of the day.
Yeah.
I have to be reasonably fit.
Yes.
And मेरा ये मानना है कि अगर आप physically fit हो then mentally you're also fit. Yes. And that's the way it is. So that's my typical day. And reaching office before time is still an old habit. And I do have follow same old habit. And I love flaunting my cup of coffee in the morning with my famous orange bottle. And I love for doing that in the morning. And then of course a typical day is like conducting some programs, stakeholder meetings, which are many. होता क्या typical day में है, I have planned something for the day. But 50% of things I don't plan, I don't achieve at all because other unplanned things comes, which I can't avoid it. But that's a good part of the job. That's a part of life of every leader. But that's a good part of the job.
Yeah.
You need some unpredictability also.
Yeah.
मैं सारा मैं schedule कर लूँ,
Otherwise, it will become very monotone.
oh, it's become very monotonous, right? But in a day, if you're able to spend half an hour to 45 minutes to do some self-reflection कि मेरे को आज ये करना है, you have to have some thinking time for yourself. And sometimes I hide away. Not every day from my bosses and my customers, but I hide away. For example, if I'm on a third floor, I hide away to first floor alone, one corner, and I do some thinking work. Which problem solving, firefighting happens in my nearby workstation. But thinking part ही मेरे को चाहिए. And for that, I usually hide away, if not every day, every alternative day, at least for half an hour, 45 minutes, I have to think. If I have to create something, you need that time. So for me, that's also very part of a typical. So
Me time.
it's absolutely me time. Me time for a professional point of view. But yes, that's it. Otherwise, the me time is in the morning when I am walking for that 90 minutes of watching, listening to the podcast, the music, or watching some comedy videos also because I love watching in the morning a good comedy. It really brightens my day.
You set your day.
Set my day also. Seriously speaking, तो आप morning में थोड़ा हंस लो अपने आप पे ही. That sounds good.
Do that.
So for me, this is a one good sipping.
I think you can now add Pharma Now's podcast to your list.
Sorry?
You can add Pharma Now's podcast to the list.
God, ne, ठीक है, fair enough. Give me an access. I would love to.
While walking, you can have the fun.
Oh, come on, I've got 90 minutes. I'll do that. Bring it on.
So, what's your leadership mantra?
Leadership mantra. Yeah, देखो, I think I'm blessed to work with some very good leaders. And one mantra is very simple. Whatever you preach, you practice. And that has been the role and goal I have been told by my parents, by my first supervisor, my second supervisor, and it has unchanged. And somebody taught me in a very nice way कि Pankaj, talent is a very overused word. It's a very loose word.
Okay.
There is no substitute to hard work.
Wow.
आप टैलेंट तो हो, बोलते हो मैं टैलेंट हूँ, बट हार्ड वर्क करते नहीं हो, आप काहे का टैलेंट हो. So I think जो भी the new generation which is coming, it's not a shortcut to anything. So आप, if you keep working hard, and that too in a current role, I'm sure you will be picked up very well. और कभी कभी टैलेंट को ना अपने बारे में मिसकंसेप्शन हो जाता है, मैं टैलेंट ही हूँ तो मेरे को तो जल्दी निकलना है. And they make few jumps here and there, but if you are working for a larger longevity, you fail also very easily.
Nice.
And idea is that how do you sustain your pedigree or your legacy, what you created in the past, is also equally important.
Correct.
तो अगर आप 25 साल काम करते हो in the industry or let's say in the organization, yet you are so relevant to their job and to the organization, I mean, that's the best outcome you can imagine. Rather, one fine day somebody gives you pink slip, which is also very common nowadays. So one is that be a good role model. B is upgrade yourself. It's equally important. Equally important. I get trained by my girls also, my 2 daughters. So वही मुझे सिखाती रहती हैं काफ़ी कुछ. And I compete with them and I mean it.
Okay.
I compete with them also. Let's say AI की बात करते हैं जिसके बारे में हम सुबह बात कर रहे हैं. I compete with them. If they tell me, Dad, there are 2 new F has come, I'll tell them 2 new more has come. Now pick this also up. So idea is not to beat them and all.
Yeah.
No, you stay connected with what is happening in the young generation, the real world, and it is also make you stay young as well.
True that.
So it is important that you should stay with the young people to stay young. That's very, very important. That's my second piece of a mantra, a leadership style, keh lo ya jo keh lo, whatever the name you want to give. These two. And third thing, whatever you have learned from the people, give it back to them. I think I truly believe in giving back to the community.
Yeah.
ये realization थोड़ा मुझे, I think I got little late, but I'm still glad I got the realization 15 years back only. I would still say little late, but even early also you can say, but I truly believe in that giving it back. So when I visit many institutes, many colleges also for my talk and all that, idea is basically to share whatever little wisdom or knowledge we have with others. And if you keep giving back, I'm sure you will gain more also. That's the way I believe in that. And so far, thankfully, life has been good, so no complaint as such.
Amazing. I think Dr. Pankaj, it was really wonderful to have this message from you. I'm sure this episode will inspire lot many people. I'm sure about it.
I'm not too sure, guys. I'm not here to inspire anybody. I'm not a motivational speaker. I told you exactly that what kind of a job and life I have gone through. If it makes sense to you, great. If it doesn't, feel it good that it was a good conversation.
I'm sure this is a real life story. So this always inspire. At least this has inspired me. I think there are a couple of messages which I really like. 12,000 steps. My target is 7,000. I will increase to 10,000 now. Then move to 12,000. Man, best the shit didn't do that.
And you need it also.
Yes. I absolutely agree to some way. I agree with it. So thanks a lot, Pankaj, for coming to Pharma Now and sharing your thoughts. It was really a pleasure talking to you.
You know, likewise also, guys, thank you very much for inviting me. I really enjoyed being here also, and plus happened to visit your magazine also. I just glanced through that. As I was telling you earlier that good show, guys, and the kind of a topic which you're covering is also helping us to see the overall ecosystem of the pharma. So you're not touching one domain. Where I was going through the content also, I think it looks rich. It's look very appealing, and I really wish you and your team the very, very best to keep raising the bar.
Thanks a lot. These are very encouraging words for us.
Likewise. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Take care.
Yes, sir.